What if you saw God seated on his throne with your very own eyes? This is what happened to the prophet Isaiah, recorded in Isaiah chapter 6. And it's where the famous phrase, "Woe is me," got its start. You know, oftentimes this phrase is used to describe almost like a pity party, or, "Oh, you woe is me, I'm just going through such a hard time." But in this passage, it had such a different meaning, and I really wanted to kind of unpack what it means to have a true woe is me experience. It says here in Isaiah chapter 6, it says, "In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord seated on the throne, high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him were seraphs," or angels of some sort, "each with 6 wings, and with 2 wings they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they were flying, and were calling to one another, 'Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory.' At the sound of their voices," it says, "the doorpost and the threshold shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. 'Woe is me,' I cried, 'I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty.' Then one of the seraphs flew to me, and with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar, and with it he touched my mouth and said, 'See, this has touched your lips, and your guilt is taken away, and your sin is atoned for.'" So in this passage we see Isaiah encounter the vivid holiness of the Lord. He experiences this prophetic vision of some sort in which he encounters God seated on the throne, and his response is, "I'm unclean. I stand in the presence of God, and I'm now aware of how ruined I am, how badly I need grace." Isaiah says, "I'm an unclean man, woe is me." He wasn't having a pity party. He wasn't saying, "Oh, somebody come, help me with my sorrows." Isaiah was saying, "Woe is me. I realize how badly I need to be atoned for." And that is this idea which the angel presents, that his sins being atoned for. It's this revolutionary concept that someone can have their sins imputed to another. That is, someone can actually receive your punishment on your behalf. This is atonement in the Old Testament, where they would sacrifice an animal in place of the sinner, that the sinner might not have to endure the wrath of God. And this is what Jesus did. But we need to have a woe is me experience. We need to begin to encounter the presence of God in such a way that it reveals to us our need for God's grace. And it's in that place that we realize we need God, that our own personal good works cannot bring us to heaven. It can't make us right with the Father. That we come smack face, front and center, into the holiness of God, that He is so far above us that the only pathway to Him is grace. This is where things begin to change in our life. This is where Jesus becomes real, where we recognize why we need Him so badly. Jesus, on the cross, shed His blood to atone for our sins, to stand in our place, to receive the punishment that our sins deserve, that we might receive grace from God the Father. But in order to be put into a place where we're willing and ready to receive grace, we've got to encounter God's holiness in the same way Isaiah did. We need to be able to say, "Woe is me, I'm undone, I'm ruined, I'm unclean. Not to get down on ourselves, but to come square with the fact that we cannot achieve righteousness in and of our own human flesh. And so today I want to encourage you that woe is me is not a negative. Woe is me is something that gives us a reality check so that we can remember grace. So that we can remember that every step that's a step forward with God is one empowered by grace. That no matter how much we try to manufacture righteousness, it never works. We must simply receive grace and extend grace to others. So thank you for tuning in for today's Freedom Journey devotional. I'm Pastor Kyle, and I had an awesome time being able to share this word with you. I look forward to tuning back in with you later on this week to continue sharing from the prophet Isaiah. God bless, and I'll talk to you then.